Hey, Krishna. Let's all do a big Hey, Krishna.
Hey Krishna.
Hey Krishna,
Karuna Sindhu.
Karuna Sindhu,
Dina Bandhu.
Deepabandhu,
Pate.
Jagatpate,
Gopesha.
Gopesha,
Gopika Kanta.
Gopika
Kanta,
Radha Kanta.
Radha
Kanta,
Namostute.
Namostute.
There's another one similar to that, which I used to recite many years ago. Hey Guru Gyana Dadina Bandhu Swananda Data Karunaika Sindhu Vrindavana Sina Hitavatara Pasida Radha Pranaya Prachara. This is to the Guru. Hey Guru Gyana Dadina Bandhu. Beautiful prayers. That's why we do the slokaship. We learn, like yesterday, Ritu was going through many shlokas yesterday. The Pandit of Swindon.
No.
Yes, you're learning so many good shlokas. You're on over 100 now.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is the way it is. Okay, then, Prabhu. Jai Shri Krishna, Prabhu. Let's go.
The prayer of the Vedas personified illustrates that the Vedas are meant for helping the conditional souls to understand Krishna. All the Shrutis or personified Vedas offered glories to the Lord again and again, singing Jaya, Jaya. This indicates that the Lord is more glorious of all his glories. The most important of his causeless mercy upon the conditional souls is reclaiming them from the clutches of Maya.
Okay, so this is a great point here. Who can bring out the good point here that Sanandan Kumar is making?
The clutches of Maya.
What's he saying?
Taking the name of Lord will save us from the clutches of Maya.
Yes, so what's he saying? Come on, read it, read it. Archana.
The Vedas is meant to help the conditioned soul to understand Krishna.
What's he saying here about Krishna? Alex.
Most glorious.
Lord is most glorious.
Alex is speaking in a very high voice. He must be eating a lot of coffee there.
I'm speaking through another Atman. No, for me, if I read it out loud and say like Lord is the most glorious, but it's saying more than that in terms of Krishna is is going to help us understand in a personal way through the Shrutis. So
Yes,
or personified Vedas. So
okay.
it takes the Vedas from being books to giving them personality, and it's bringing the knowledge of the Vedas in a personal way.
Okay.
That's why, yeah.
That was nice, but it's wrong. Go on,
Okay.
Archana. Go on, Archana. Tell him what it is.
No, I don't know, Prabhuji, but I just point out that the Lord is the most glorious of all his glories. The most important is his causeless mercy upon the conditioned souls. Yes,
the Supreme Personality has many glories. His beauty, as we know, Aishvaryasya Samagrasya Virya. Oh, Ritu can say this one. She knows this shloka from the Vishnu Purana.
Ashwadasya samagasya vidyasya yashashashriya jnana vairagya yoschaiva shanam bhaga iti rana.
Yes, the Supreme Lord is defined, God is defined by the one who possesses 6 opulences: all beauty, all wealth, all fame, all power, all knowledge, and all Vairagyascha. So he is possessing all these great opulences: beauty, fame, strength, you know, like Krishna in the battle, when Krishna is fighting an Asura, you know, it's a great fight, but Krishna always wins. He always, somehow or another, he always wins. And Krishna is playing. He's playing with these powerful, like Nrsingadev and Hiranyakashipu, or the Varaha and Hiranyaksha. When Varaha was fighting with Hiranyaksha, at one point Varaha dropped his gada. They were fighting with big gadas. And at one point he dropped his gada. This is in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Has anyone read this part? In the Sweta Varaha Manu period, Varaha Deva descends and picks up the earth from the Garbhodakshaya. It had fallen into the Garbhodakshaya ocean because Hiranyaksha had taken all the gold out of the earth and there was an imbalance. Anyway, at one point, Varaha dropped his gada, and it appeared to the demigods and the great Brahma and all these different Manu and all these great souls, Lord Shiva. It appeared that Hiranyaksha was getting the upper hand in the fight. And all the demigods said, "Oho, oho." Can we all be demigods now, please, and say, "Oho, oho."
Aho, aho.
Come on, all together. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, oh,
Yes, oho, oho, they said. No, this is terrible. Now Hiranyaksha is going to kill Varaha. And of course, Varaha was playing. He was just playing with him. And then at one point, he picked his gada up and forward. And then at one point, he just hit him with the back of his hand, like a parent would clip the ear of a naughty boy. Just as a naughty boy gets a clip on the ear. Pow! Like that. Varaha just hit him on the ear, and immediately he began to spit blood, and he left his body. Just like that. So the Lord has all power, all beauty. He has immense wealth, unbelievable. Well, as displayed in Dwarka, personally by Krishna, no one can equal his wealth. There's no hope of anyone equaling his wealth of family, 16,000 wives, 160,000 children. Even the greatest Arab sheikh with a harem of 200, 500 wives couldn't have 160,000 children. But this God can do that. He can have 160 billion. This is the opposite. Yet, in spite of all these glories, his greatest glory is his graciousness as Patita Pavan, reclaiming the fallen, conditioned souls. So that's a very nice opening there. Go ahead, Archana.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. There are unlimited numbers of living entities in different varieties of bodies, some moving and some standing in one place, and the conditioned life of these living entities is due only to their forgetfulness of the eternal relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead. When the living entity wants to load it over the material energy by maintaining the position of Krishna. Imitating, yes, sorry about that. Position of Krishna is immediately captured by the material energy, and according to this desire, his desire is offered one variety of the 8,400,000 different kind of bodies. Although undergoing is that threefold mysteries of material existence, the illusion living entities falsely think himself the master of all the surveys. Under the spell of the material energy, represented by the threefold material qualities, the living entity is so entangled that he is not at all able to become the free unless he is graced by the Supreme Lord. The living entity cannot conquer the influence of material modes of nature by his own endeavor, but because material nature is working under the control of Supreme Lord, the Lord is beyond its jurisdiction. Except for him, all living entities from Brahma down to the ant are conquered by the contact of material nature.
Yes, and that's very nice, because that statement there is confirmed by Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 10. Who can find Bhagavad Gita in their Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 10? Who's going to be the quickest one? Who's going to get the samosa? Who's going to get a big plate of tanvi? 9, 10. Niti Lakshana, you got a Gita there?
Yes, got it.
Go ahead.
She said 9:10, didn't you, Bhagavad Gita?
Ha.
Okay, translation: this material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. A son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Do you want to read the purport, or you want to just read the translation?
Oh, no.
Okay.
We read in the Krishna book. But that verse is Maya Jakshena, Prakriti. So this Maya is so powerful. She can chew us up. She can spit us out. She can take us back in. We are fully under the control. We think we're not under control of Maya, but our body is produced of Maya Shakti. The mind, the desires we have are material desires. We have to recultivate spiritual desires. We're completely under. From top to bottom, we're completely controlled by Maya. But who is controlling Maya? Maya Jakshena, Prakriti, Krishna says, that I am controlling the Maya. And also in 7:14 Bhagavad Gita, who can find 7:14 to reconfirm this point? 7:14. So Alex, have you got a Gita there?
So I'm trying to juggle between.
Oh no! Don't change. If you haven't got the book, don't look for it. Don't juggle online.
Sorry, Papa.
Don't do that. Suicide. Go on. 7:14. Go on, Niti Lakshana.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you. Translation: his divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it.
Yeah, Krishna says, Mayam etam taranti. Easily, etam, without difficulty, one can cross over. But otherwise, it's durachaya. Durachaya. The shloka is in Sanskrit. Who knows the shloka in Sanskrit? Daivi hiesha. Gunamaya. Mamamaya. Duratya. The word is durata, very impossible. Durata actually means, although impossible doesn't exist for Krishna, that word is not there's nothing impossible for Bhagwan. He's Yogeshwara, the master of all mystic potencies. And one of the mystic potencies, Kama Shayitva Siddhi, means that one can do anything one desires. This is one of the 8 Ashta Siddhis. So Krishna is nothing is, but for us, Durata, it's impossible to get out of the entanglement of Maya. But Krishna is a special quality of Bhagwan is that he goes out of his way again and again and again. Again and again, he comes many times. Who knows Bhagavad Gita 4:7? The famous one, 4:7. Yada.
Dharmasya.
ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्.
This is famous, yada. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in dharma and a predominant rise of
It really
dharma. Glani dharma means it's going down, and adharma is going up. When at that time Bhagawan comes again and again and again, he's coming. He's always coming here to help us in different ways, at different times, in different yugas. He's constantly trying to reclaim the fallen conditioned souls. Okay.
But there's one more I wanted to say about this three gunas of Prakriti. Prakriti kriyamana ni gunai kalmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma karta hamiti punyate. It's similar to the
Yeah, but
other
it's a different point. He's making a different point there. He's saying that we are not the doer. We think we're the doer. We think we're the knowers. We think we're the speakers, but we're not the speaker. We're not the doer. And therefore, we should always give full credit to Bhagawan for all activities and all success. Okay, Smita, go ahead.
Because the Lord possesses in full the six opulences of wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, he alone is beyond the spell of material nature. Unless the living entity is situated in Krishna consciousness, he cannot approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yet the Lord, by his omnipotency, can dictate from within the supersoul how a living entity can gradually come to him, even while performing his ordinary work. As the Lord advises in the Bhagavad Gita, whatever you do, do it for me. Whatever you eat, first offer it to me. Whatever charity you give, first give it to me. And whatever austerities and penances you want to perform them for me. In this way, the karmis are directed gradually to develop Krishna consciousness. Similarly, Krishna directs the philosophers to approach him gradually by discriminating between Brahman and Maya. For at last, when one is mature in knowledge, he surrenders unto Krishna. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, after many, many births, the wise philosopher surrenders unto me. The yogis are also directed to concentrate their meditation upon Krishna within the heart. And by such a continuous process of Krishna consciousness, they can also become free from the clutches of the material energy. The devotees, however, are engaged in devotional service with love and affection from the very beginning, and therefore the Lord personally directs them so that they can approach him without difficulty or deviation. This is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Only by the grace of the Lord can the living entity understand the exact position of Brahman, Bharatama, and Bhagavan.
And that is also confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 1-11 by Sutta Goswami to not Maitreya, Shaunaka Rishi. And Ritu will give you that shloka now.
Vadanti tattva vedas tattva jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwan iti shabdate. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagwan.
There we are, confirmed. Word for word, confirmed. That was very good. Okay, Ritu, you carry on.
The statements of the personified Vedas give clear evidence that the Vedic literature is presented only for understanding Krishna. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that through all the Vedas, it is Krishna alone who has to be understood. Krishna is always enjoying, either in the material world or in the spiritual world, because he is the supreme enjoyer. For him, there is no distinction between the material and the spiritual worlds. The material world is an impediment for the ordinary living entities because they are under its control. But Krishna, being the controller of the material world, has nothing to do with the impediments it offers. Therefore, in different parts of the Upanishads and Vedas declare the Supreme Brahman is eternal, full of knowledge and all bliss. That one Supreme Personality of Godhead exists in the heart of every living entity. Because of his pervasiveness, pervasiveness. He is able to enter not only into the hearts of the living entities, but even into the atoms also. As the super soul, he is the controller of all activities and all activities of the living entities. He lives within all of them and witnesses their actions, allowing them to act according to their desires, and also giving them the results of their different activities. He is the living force of all things, but he is transcendental to the material qualities. He is omnipotent. He is expert in manufacturing everything, and on account of his superior nature, superior natural knowledge, he can bring everyone under his control. As such, he is everyone's master. He is sometimes manifest on the surface of the globe, but he is simultaneously within all matter. Desiring to expand himself in multiforms, he glanced over the material world, material energy, and thus innumerable living entities become manifest. Everything is created by his superior energy, and everything in his creation appears to be perfectly done without deficiency. Those who aspire for liberation from this material world must therefore worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate cause of all causes. He's just like the total mass of earth, from which varieties of earthly pots are manufactured. The pots are made up of the pots are made of earthly clay. They rest on earth, and after being destroyed, the elements ultimately merge back into the earth, the original cause of all varieties of manifestation.
Thank you. So that's quite a long paragraph there, but Krishna is always the supreme enjoyer. Even he comes into this world, people will say, no, you are not God. I am God. Who is famous? Who is famous in the Krishna book, in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, of blatantly accusing Krishna of being a false Vasudeva and claiming himself to be the real Vasudeva? Who was famous for doing that?
Pondra Krishna something.
Pondraka Maharaj Pondraka, who was a friend of the king of Kashi and Jarasandha. And Pondraka, he dressed up like Lord Krishna, like Vasudeva, and he put on a Kaustubha Mani. Krishna wears a Kaustubha Mani around his neck, and he had a false one. And he wore a Vajayanti Mala, forest flowers, Mala, and he wore a false one. And he wore also a Mukut, like Vasudeva, and Kundali, shark-shaped earrings. So he was imitating, blatantly imitating Krishna, and Krishna removed his head on the battlefield. And then the great Yavana attacked Mathura. We read about this earlier on, quite a long time ago now, when Jarasandha attacked Mathura. How many times did Jarasandha attack Mathura? 18. How many times?
18.
18 times. 18. The 17th time, he was defeated 17 times. On the 18th time, what happened? Who can remember? Go on, Archana.
Lord Krishna joined the battle.
Yes, he was there fighting him every time and defeated him every time. Except the 18th time, something happened. Jai Shri Krishna Prabhu. Smita, you'll remember.
Well, it's either he killed him or he let him win. It's one of the two.
Well, Alex?
I don't remember.
Dwarka.
The 18th time, Jarasandha attacked from the east because he was coming from Magadha or Bihar, and from the south, from Mumbai, from Bollywood. Yavana attacked called Kalayavana. So on this 18th time, 2 armies attacked Mathura simultaneously. Do you remember the story?
I know the story of Kalyavan.
So Kalayavana attacked on the from the southwest, and from the east came Jarasandha, and Krishna. Jarasandha, as usual, would abuse Krishna verbally. He would verbally abuse, as people do. Your religion is bad. Krishna is not God. Where do we hear this many times? Well, if you've been on the street selling books, like I've been on the street many years selling books. Has anybody been out there selling books on the street? Anybody had the opportunity yet to go out and sell a book on the street to people? People will say, no, Krishna is not God. That's the devil. There's only one God. Allah is one. They'll say Allah, Krishna is not God. They'll say so many things. And similarly, at this time also, it's not only now they're saying it. It was also when Krishna was personally present. But what happened to them? That's the point. They're lucky, these people today, that Krishna is not present, because Krishna would dispatch them to Yamaraj. And Kalayavana attacked Krishna with his army. Jarasandha attacked, and of course Krishna left the battlefield to take Kalayavana away. And Kalayavana followed him into a cave where a great king who'd been fighting for 100 years of the demigods, he'd been fighting for so many thousands of our years. He had been given the blessing to sleep there. And if someone disturbed him, fire would come from his eyes and he would burn them to ashes. So Krishna took Kalayavana into the cave, and while he was walking away, Jarasandha said, you're Ranchor, he said, you're a coward. You're a coward. You're running from the battlefield. Ha 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 ha. Now I'm the victor. You see, this is Jarasandha. So in that time, he actually was, Krishna satisfied his desire that he would be victorious, so he could go back to Magadha as a great hero. But later, Bhima killed Jarasandha. We know that story. So Kalayavana was a Yavana, and Yavanas are famous for hating God. They hate Krishna. They cannot stand to understand God in a personal way. And this Yavana was killed not by Krishna, but by Muchukunda. When he kicked him thinking Krishna's lying here. He kicked him. And of course, Muchukunda opened his eyes and woof, up he went in flames. All right, Alex, carry on, Prabhu.
Employing this analogy of Brahman with earth, the impersonalists especially stress the Vedic statement, Sarvam Kalva Idam Brahma. Everything is Brahman. The impersonalists do not take into account the varieties of manifestation emanating from the supreme cause, Brahman. They simply consider that everything emanates from Brahman and after destruction merges into Brahman, and that the intermediate stages of manifestation is also Brahman. But although the Mayavadis believe that prior to its manifestation, the cosmos was in Brahman, after creation it remains in Brahman, and after destruction it merges into Brahman. They do not know what Brahman is. The Brahma Samhita, however, clearly describes Brahman, the living entity, space, time, and the material elements like fire, earth, sky, water, and mind constitute the total cosmic manifestation known as Bhur, Bhuva, and Swa, which is manifested by Govinda. It flourishes on the strength of Govinda, and after annihilation enters into and is conserved in Govinda. Lord Brahma therefore says, I worship Lord Govinda, the original personality, the cause of all causes. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, this is a very popular statement from the Vedanta Sutra by Mayavadis, the impersonalists. They love this statement, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Can we all say that together? Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma.
Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma.
Nitilakshana?
Lakshana.
Hare Krishna. Can you repeat again, please?
Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma.
Sarva Kalvidam Brahma.
Sarvam.
Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma.
Yes, Archana?
Sarvam Kalvidam Brahman.
Ritu.
Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma.
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 Shri Krishna Prabhu.
Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma.
Brahma. Yes, it is Brahman. Brahma, oftentimes Brahma refers to Brahman. But if it's Brahma with a long R at the end, Brahma, this is Lord Brahma. So there's Brahma and Brahma. Remember this point. Smita, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma.
Sarvam Kalvidam Brahman.
Brahma.
Brahma. Sorry.
Yeah, Brahma refers to Brahman, okay? But in the Shloka version, Brahma is the, like, Anksha Bhagavato, Anksha Bhagavato. Oh, anyway, I don't want to go into all this stuff, but the Brahma refers to Brahman, okay? And Brahma refers to Lord Brahma.
Yeah.
Okay, remember this, there's a difference, okay?
Yeah.
And Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, Kalu. Sarvam Kalu Idam. But because it's in Sanskrit, you don't say Kalu Idam. The U becomes Va as a Sandhi. Becomes a Sandhi towards Idam. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. That everything that exists is a manifestation of Brahma. Now, in the previous paragraph, this was mentioned by Sanandan Kumar, that the Lord enters not only into this material world, does he come here and displays his blissful nature, even though it appears he's in danger. He's always smiling, he's always cool. It's Bhagawan Shri Krishna is the ultimate cool guy, Mr. Cool. He's the supreme chilled out person. If you want to know the most chilled out, cool person, it's Bhagawan. And he never gets ruffled. His feathers never get ruffled. He's always in control of everything. And he comes here, but also he enters, the Lord enters into the atom, or Brahman, as we say Brahman, Salvam Kalvidam Brahma. Even the atoms, like a building, like now. Archana's leaning. Are you leaning against the wall there, or
It's a chair.
it's a chair? You're sitting on the chair. Oh, we're all sitting on chairs, I take it. Yes, these chairs are made of atoms. Look at Jai Shri Krishna. Look at all his files there for the accounts he's doing. All those. These are all atoms. The buildings, the trees, the bodies, everything in material nature, the pradhan, is made of atom. What is within the atom? Okay, there's no neutrons and protons, but what is making the atom function? It's the Paramatma. So the Paramatma is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Paramatma, this form of Vishnu, who is diffused throughout material nature, in the hearts of every being, every animal, every insect. He's everywhere, accompanying the conditioned soul, in the stavra, in the trees, plants, and he even enters into inert matter in the form of the atom. So ultimately, everything is Sarvam Kalvidam
Brahma.
Brahma. Everything is Brahma. But this Brahma that is manifesting here, it is not the Para-Brahma. The Para-Brahma is the Lord himself, but his energy his energetic form, like Paramatma, for example, is a reflective form of the Lord, Paramatma. That Paramatma is a second, or not secondary, it's a much lower manifestation of the Lord who enters into material nature. So everything is ultimately God, but God himself is separate from all of that. Even though everything is him, he is. We have to know how he is everything. Not that everything is one. Bhagawan Ek. This is impersonalism. It's this Mayavadi philosophy that is being mentioned here. It's a reductionism. They're reducing everything into just one in a very cheap way. But God isn't cheap. We have to know how God is entering into everything, and that requires study, and this is what we're doing. Okay, Alex Prabhu, thank you for that. Niti Lakshana, you can do the next paragraph.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. The word Brahman indicates the greatest of all and the maintainer of everything. The impersonalists are attracted by the greatness of the sky, but because of their poor fund of knowledge, they are not attracted by the greatness of Krishna. In our practical life, however, we are attracted by the greatness of a person and not by the greatness of a big mountain. Thus, the term Brahman actually applies to Krishna only. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna concluded that the Lord Krishna is the Para Brahman, or the supreme resting place of everything. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Jai Shri Krishna, Prabhu.
Krishna is the supreme Brahman because of his unlimited knowledge, unlimited potencies, unlimited strength, unlimited influence, unlimited beauty, and unlimited renunciation. Ultimately, therefore, the word Brahman can be applied to Krishna only. Arjuna affirms that because the impersonal Brahman is the effulgence emanating as rays of Krishna's transcendental body, Krishna is the Para-Brahman. Everything rests on Brahman, but Brahman itself rests on Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is the ultimate Brahman, or Para-Brahman. The material elements are accepted as the inferior energy of Krishna, but the interaction, the cosmic manifestation, takes place, rests on Krishna, and after dissolution again enters into the body of Krishna as his subtle energy. Krishna is therefore the cause of both manifestation and dissolution.
Okay, Archana.
Sarvam Kalva Idam Brahma means that everything is Krishna in the sense that everything is his energy. That is the reason of the Maha Bhagavatas. They see everything in relation to Krishna. The impersonalists argue that Krishna himself has been transformed into many, and therefore everything is Krishna, and worship of anything is worship of him. This false argument is answered by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Although everything is a transformation of the energy of Krishna, he is not present everywhere. He is simultaneously present and not present. By his energy, he is present everywhere, but as the energetic, he is not present everywhere. This simultaneous presence and non-presence is inconceivable to our present senses. But a clear explanation is given in the beginning of Upanishad, in which is stated that the Supreme Lord is so complete that although unlimited energies and their transformation emanate from Krishna, Krishna's personality is not in the least bit transformed. Therefore, since Krishna is the cause of all causes, intelligent person should take shelter of his lotus feet.
Okay, two shlokas are mentioned here. The first one is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 28. Who can find 728, Bhagavad Gita? Who can find it the quickest?
Bhagavad Gita 7:20.
Alex, don't worry. Don't change the page. It's okay.
728.
728. Who's going to find it?
Persons,
No,
persons were
no. Wait a minute. No, it's 9. No, it's not. That's Yesham Twanta Gatam, isn't it?
yes.
Yasham Tattvagatam.
No. It's not that. It's 9th chapter, text 4, 9:4. Sorry, getting my shlokas mixed up here.
9:4. By me is my unmanifested
Yes,
form.
Maya Tatam Midam Sarvam.
Maya tatam idam sarvam jagadavya
Avyatamurtina.
jagadavyatamurtina matsthani sarvabhutani na chaham tvesha vasthitaha.
Is Fatashti. Yes, go on, Jai Shri Krishna Prabhu.
It's a very short translation. By me is my unmanifested form. This entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I'm not in them.
Yeah, this is the first point, that everything is in Krishna, everything is within his energies. Through his energies, everything is ultimately him. It's not different. At the same time, he is different from everything. This is the first point. It's called Achintu, Achintya, Beda, Tattva, Achintya, inconceivable. Achintu Kaluye Tarvam. This is from Mahabharata, one famous verse, how that inconceivable things cannot be understood through intelligence alone. There has to be prakash, it has to be a revelation within, because it's inconceivable to our 1 and 1 equals 2 intelligence. And the last one is mentioned is from the Ishopanishad, the first shloka of the Ishopanishad. Who knows that one?
Invocation, right?
Invocation.
I know.
Go ahead.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udhyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete, and because he's completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete whole.
Whatever.
Whatever is produced of this complete whole is complete in itself. Because he is complete whole and so many emanations emanate from him, he remains the complete balance.
Very good. This is the translation of the Ishopanishad invocation as referred to by Srila Prabhupada here. Okay, Smita.
Krishna advises everyone just to surrender unto him alone, and that in the way of Vedic instruction, since Krishna is the cause of all causes, he is worshipped by all kinds of sages and saints through observance of the regulative principles. As far as meditation is concerned, great personalities meditate on the transcendental form of Krishna within the heart. In this way, the minds of great personalities are always engaged in Krishna. With their minds engaged in Krishna, naturally captivated devotees simply talk of Krishna.
Alex.
Hare Krishna. Talking of Krishna or singing of Krishna is called Kirtana. Lord Chaitanya recommends Kirtanya Sada Hari, which means always thinking and talking of Krishna and nothing else. That is called Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is so sublime that anyone who takes it to this process is elevated to the highest perfection of life, far, far beyond the concept of liberation. In the Bhagavad Gita, therefore, Krishna advises everyone always to think of him, render devotional service to him, worship him, offer obeisances to him. In this way, a devotee becomes fully Krishnaized, and being always situated in Krishna consciousness ultimately goes back to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. 1865 there of Bhagavad Gita. Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Famous. This is actually the what we call the essential sloka of Bhagavad Gita. Each book, Brahma Samhita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, they all have a special shloka that is the essence of the book. So the essence of Bhagavad Gita is 1865, Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto, and this is also mentioned in the 9th chapter twice. Krishna says it. That's how important that shloka is. Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto Mandyaji Mam Namaskuru. Mame Vaishsi Yuktvaivam Atmana Matparayanaha. Then he says in the 18th chapter, Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. Mame Vaishsi Satyam Te Pratijane Priyo Sime. So this Bhagavad Gita essence is Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto. And that is the ultimate goal of Bhagavad Gita, a Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahma Samhita, is to always think of,
Lord Krishna.
and just like the iron is put into a fire and it's cold and it's hard and it is of a different nature. After the iron has been in the fire for a good 1 hour, like we used to do when we had fireplaces. Who remembers having a fireplace in their house?
I do.
Yes, Archana?
Yeah.
Yes, when we used to have a fire, Niti Lakshana, do you remember having a fireplace?
I've never seen it, but in Kenya we used to have one.
In Kenya, yes.
Yeah, they normally use those things.
In my home in Wales and my grandmother's home in Cheshire, especially my grandma, she had lovely coal fire. The flames would all be going in different colors and, you know, different shapes. And you could sit down and just look at the fire. It was so nice, and the heat from it. And of course, we used to put the poker, you see, when you have a fire, you have a poker, different things to poke it and keep it under control. We'd stick the poker in the fire and we'd pull it out after a while and it'd be completely white, like yellow, so hot. And that, if you touched it to anything, it would burst into flames. So just like the iron becomes fire, yet retains the quality of iron, so the pure devotee's body, who is engaged in hearing and chanting about Krishna, his body is also completely spiritualized, and therefore the spiritual master who is engaged 100% in Krishna's service, his body is preserved in salt and buried in samadhi, is not burned, because his body is considered to be Krishnaized. So on that point, we'll thank you very much for a nice reading. We went through a few shlokas today, look. Interesting, very good. And let's give a big Haribo to Ritu for speaking all those shlokas. Haribo!
Oh,
Very
Hari-
good. She's a very good student. She's been learning very well in my shloka group now for how many years have you been with us? 2 years?
Way more than that.
2 or 3 years. She's been going well, learning shloka. Every day she's on that shloka, learning a new one. And if she doesn't learn it, I get the whip out. Learn that shloka. All right, Niti Lakshana, thank you for joining us.
thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Sorry, you need to send me the list of the next, the shlokas for level 4, just reminding you.
Oh, yes, I got to send you the whole list. That's right. Yeah. Okay, I got to get that together. Okay, well, we'll see you next Tuesday. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Bol.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
sweetheart.